cold cases to serial killers, missing persons, and more.
100% he did this.
I'd go off into fantasy world.
How much more lucky can you get that you're not on death row?
You want to know what we know.
My name is Jay. This is Guilty of Crime.
Hello, everybody. Hopefully people are coming back, and I'm going to put the volume back up so I can talk nice and loud like I always do. What's up, Sadie's mama, Melissa? JT's back. He's going to be back with us for a while. You guys get the... Yeah, look at him. Looking all fly.
Weight, so I'm feeling good, and I'm trying to look as good as I can for you guys, give you guys some content.
Well, you definitely do, man. You get that side of things. All the straight girls look that way. All right. Oh man. Well, I have a new member here. I'm going to shout out Jay Flannery as people come in. Now, we got to do new cases around here, and the cases that we pick are, well, for many reasons, the audience asks, so we do it. So today we are doing the suitcase, and I'm not suitcase. What am I saying? Treadmill. I don't want to do that one. We're going to do the treadmill killer, Christopher Gregor, who is from New Jersey, and he's the dad that forced his 6-year-old son on a treadmill to run. Now, it's a bit of a controversy, and we're going to talk about it, and then I'm going to play a video and show you. Everyone will say, what's the controversy about it? But there's other people to other sides, which is interesting, right? What do you think about it, JT?
It was hard for me to watch the video. I had to pause it. I mean, it's just, I know it's not the worst thing in the world, yet still, like, as a father, I have a 2.5-year-old son. I can't imagine, you guys will see it. Just can't imagine him putting him through something like this. And the little guy, God bless his little heart. He tried so hard to please his asshole father. And sometimes, people are in bad moods. I don't, you never know why they're in bad moods, but they take it out on their kids. And unfortunately, it's another case. Thanks. Hello. Hey, guys. It's another case of a beautiful child that got hurt from the people who should be protecting her.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's good to hear from you, as a father, because obviously I'm not, but it's a good perspective when you see something like that, and it's almost, I would say it's disgusting for you to watch. You said you couldn't even get through it.
Yeah, I had to pause it because when the little kid kept trying to get back on, and he kept smacking his face and flying off, and then getting back on, smacking his face and flying off, and it kept happening over and over again. I paused. I was like, I can't watch this, man. Like, there's no way. Like, I'm not even that child's father, and just just the human in me, just the person in me was like, help that little boy up and turn this machine off. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't need to run. He doesn't need to be punished. I mean, we're all gonna do. When you're a kid, sometimes you do things you need to be punished, I guess. But like, that's when you sit him down. And what's a punishment if you don't understand anything around what you did? Sit him down and talk to him, but don't make him run on a treadmill. And yeah, it was tough to watch. And I just hope. And that's another thing, I like streaming with you. We can get the message out to spread positivity, to spread love, and hopefully there'll be more of that and less of cases like this for me and you to talk about.
Absolutely. And there always will be cases, but at least maybe somebody will think twice when something like this happens. Now, there's so many different perspectives to this case. We're just getting into it, and they're already in trial. Right. So there's no other side to me other than what this man did is just absolutely disgusting. But I mean, he says he did it because he was telling his kid that he was fat and he needed to lose weight, So maybe he did that because he got in trouble one day. Maybe he did that because I don't really know. There's no justification,
Even
and
if
there's
he
going to be a
was
whole bunch of no.
even if a child is a little overweight, I've been overweight my entire life practically. That's still not a reason to treat someone like this. Yeah, and he wasn't overweight, so I don't understand what this guy was even talking about from the beginning. But even if the child was overweight, that still wouldn't be an excuse, right?
Well,
Just
that's why we're going to dig
have
into this because something's obviously wrong with that dog. Now, there's 22 people rolling in. Melissa Johnson, I think you're on JT's channel. He just started his true crime. He's got 40K followers on his other channel, so we're trying to pump up his crime channel, and we will do it absolutely. Brenda says such a sad case. Yeah, like we haven't even got into it yet. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna just do the basic. I'm going to pull up an article and read it so we can get if you don't know about this case at all, let's say you only heard the name of it and you have no idea what the heck we're talking about. This is the treadmill killer, Christopher Gregor, and Corey was his son that's no longer with us. So we're going to start off. There's going to be a lot more because there's a trial and there's going to be a lot to cover, but let's start with the basic thing. You guys hit that like button, subscribe to it's Poco Moonshine, right? You got Poco Moonshine up there, but I still don't see the handle for some reason. JT, oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, there you go. It's Poco Moonshine. All right, Charla, what is up? Net's World, kids are growing. There's no such thing. Yeah, this is not even real. That's not even real. Whatever was up with this father, and you're going to see it right now. We're going to, there was different times that he made him
with the mom. So I wonder if, because they said there was a custody thing. So, I wonder if he's just not happy with his own life and then took it out on the child,
Right. Yeah, there's something. It's definitely not that. And when you see the kid, everyone's going to say the same thing you do, except for another guy that I have a clip of that says something different. So we're going to be like, wait, what? We're okay, but let me pull this up so we can actually just like kind of have the story in the timeline really quickly that for anybody that doesn't know. So I'm not going to play this one yet, but I will. There's the video of it, which we're talking about. Disturbing video shows accused killer, New Jersey dad forcing a 6-year-old son to run on a treadmill because he was too fat. Now, I'm not going to play this one right this second, but I will play one of the videos. There's actually a couple of them. All right, so let me just tell you I'll make sure this is up. So I'm not just, at least people can see it. A lot of people like to see what the heck I'm talking about. No, we don't want the New York Post. All right. And a lot of people are doing dishes or something and they want to just listen. So this accused killer, the New Jersey father, he forces his son to run on a treadmill. He said he was too fat. And then, don't do this to me. They're going to give me ads, aren't they? I should have copied and pasted it. All right. So this guy's named Christopher Gregor. He's 31 years old. He appeared in court on Tuesday to stand trial for allegedly murdering his son, Corey. And I'm not sure how it's Micciolo. Is that JT? Do you know how that's pronounced? Is it Micciolo?
Either that or Micciolo.
Either, yeah. We'll probably hear. They don't say the son's name. They say Corey a lot because he's a kid. So we're just gonna say Micciolo for now. Sometimes when there's two C's, it's it's an Italian thing. So, but whatever. I do want to get it right eventually. It's just when it's a child, they don't like to use first and last names a lot.
Right.
So, all right. So Chris is on trial right now. He faces life in prison if convicted. Today was the third day of the trial. During the trial, the Superior Court, Ocean City, which is in, I assume, New Jersey, they showed the surveillance footage of Gregor forcing Corey to run on a treadmill after the boy fell off multiple times due to the exercise machine's excessive speed. Gregor and his son were seen on March 20, 2021, entering the Atlantic Heights Clubhouse Fitness Center, where the boy was promptly placed on the treadmill and began running, according to the video. Footage captured Gregor walking up on the treadmill to increase the speed, and then he raised the incline of it. So we can see a picture there. If this gets out of my way. All right, you can see that there, everybody. So people are rolling in. Thank you. Come on in, hit that like. You see that picture there.
That's the part biting his head.
Yes. Yeah. Do you want to explain that real quick while I make sure I'm on my logged into my right channel so I don't have ads?
The kid falls off and he goes to pick him up to force him to put him back on it, and he's biting his head because the kid didn't want to get on him, so he's kind of biting his head to get him to go along with what he wanted him to do.
Right. And like I said, that picture really says 1,000 words there, because you could see that he's forcing him on there, and it's much more than him just being, well, he's not overweight, first of all, so something's going on, and we can try to explain it all day. It could be that the kid looks like the mom, and every time he looks at the kid, he's like, I don't like the mom, and he's taking out on him. It could be an anger issue. Maybe he was fat when he was younger, and he doesn't want him to be that way. I don't know. It could be a million things. Crazy people that have just crazy people we can't explain. So right now we're just talking about the case as the trial begins. All right. So I'm trying to pay attention, chat, do all at the same time. And you see the picture. Sudden changes were too much for the little boy's legs, causing him to fall down and slide off the moving track. Gregor lifted his son, whatever, you could see what happened, but he lifted his son, tossed him back on the treadmill, which forced the child's legs to fold backward as the father seemingly clamped his teeth into Corey's head. This is what JT's talking about. Now the boy gets back on, but falls off and continues to struggle to remain on the machine, eventually leading the father to decrease both the speed and the incline. Now, there is the walk of shame right there. Whenever we see some person, whether I know they're not guilty yet, but we're watching the video together. You've seen it, right? And innocent until proven guilty, but we can see what he did. Yeah, I had two bear biting. Yeah, we'll answer some questions before we start, and we can talk about it too. Yeah, you can answer Carly. She says WTF. Like, I think a lot of people haven't actually heard of the details of this case.
Yeah, it's sick.
He seems like a bully, absolutely, and like I was saying, he could look like his mom. It could be a million things that it is. We don't know, but I will cover certain days of the court case and give you recaps and things like that. Who does that? The guy looking up that you're looking at on the screen right there. Say hi to some people. Hey, it's Jay popping in to listen. And if you're listening, you're at the right place, because we always have lots to talk about, right, JT?
Yeah, let's go, Jay.
All right. Yeah, Carly, that's horrific. I'm surprised. I don't know if you've heard about it, but I'm surprised that you haven't. Little Lisa, what's up? Yeah, shocking. You're going to feel physically sick. I'm going to give you guys a trigger warning right now. We are going to watch the video. It's not graphic in a way that you're going to see anything that's, like a dead body or anything. But if you can't watch it, then don't. Just listen to us. So we need our trigger warning sign up right now. I have one in the chat chart, Carly. If you put that in there, I have little icons that have trigger warnings. I just can't do it. Hey, it's Jay. This case made me so angry and sad. I just can't deal with my feelings on this one. Yeah, that's why we're trying to process it together.
I was like,
what's
man,
that?
It's exactly how I felt. I was pissed off. I was sad. I was upset. I was just like, I couldn't sit still. I was like, no, dude, really, man? You would do this to this little dude, man? Come on.
Yeah, I am. So I imagine you feel how I do when I'm listening to the Madeline Soto case, and I have a 9-year-old. that was the same age as Maddie, a year off. I literally have anger for
Yeah.
Stefan Stearns. Like and I'm sure that's how you feel watching this.
It's a relation factor when you can relate to it, in some sort of way. When you see your child, or just as a human, any way you can relate. When you can relate to something, it hits you so much harder.
Right. I mean, yeah. So I'm gonna, I'm gonna empathize and sympathize with you because when I'm watching it, like I'm so just like I watch so much true crime, and yeah, it's terrible, but it didn't feel the way it felt when I read that 36-page, with the essay assault against Madeline Soto. Like I had nightmares about it that night, and it was bad. Like so, that's how I could imagine you feeling, and all these other people here. So just know that we all feel that way, and we want to make sure that this little boy is not forgotten about and that justice is properly served. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Voice for the
I don't know
voiceless.
what's up exactly, because he's never going to be able to grow up and have children, and his last name's not even out there much because he's a child, and therefore we don't want to forget about him. Hopefully there's some kind of act or some kind of memorial or something for this young man. All right, so Melissa, your boys turned 6 today. I can sympathize, empathize, and all that. All right,
Hug him tight.
we are gonna get into it. What's that? There he is. Say that again.
Her kids turned 6. I said hug them tight.
Hug them tight. They go fast. They grow fast. They go fast. Look at this beautiful little boy. Not an ounce of fat on him. Number one, and even if there was, it makes I don't see anybody like that. But look at how beautiful that kid is, man. Just take a moment and look at him, because this is who we're talking about. Yeah, so many people would give anything to have a child and can't, or it's hard to, and yet people just dispose of them like this.
Yeah, the people who are able to have them take it for granted. It's like when you have access to something, sometimes people take it for granted. It's a shame.
Isn't that interesting, right? It's hard.
Crazy. I look at
my
son, I see my wife, I see me, I see my grandfather, I see I see all sorts of my relatives in this child. It's like it means so much to me. So I don't understand how some of these parents could, let their anger get the best of them, or whatever gets the best.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I did a case recently, and I can't remember the lady's name. And if you go back, they caught her on the Ring camera just slapping the crap out of her kid, and it was bad. It was rough to watch, and I wish I remember her name, but yeah, it was vulgar, and I was like, man, you could hear her yelling, slapping, and just kicking the kid down the hallway. And it's just, you don't see that stuff often because people do it behind closed doors, but when you do, it enrages you.
Oh yeah, it's I still get mad about all the Elijah Vu case, and I just hope to never run across these people. I just don't think I'd be nice.
Me and you both. That's why it's better if we sit behind YouTube and voice, because I'm
Right.
with you. What's cool is a lot of people in chat have been watching this trial, and so they get to ask questions and kind of fill us in as we go as well. So Gigi says Corey's mother was denied an emergency custody order the day before Corey passed away. And that stuff happens a lot. My brother has 2 children, and both terrible, different baby mamas, I'm gonna call them. Both of them equally as bad. Same things happen to him. They're terrible moms, but they give one parent, they favor custody, and then that's it. You're just done. You try to do what you can, and look at what happens.
It's a shame that the system kind of failed them too. Then they gave custody to the wrong parent. Not that they're fortune tellers, but like, what's up with and then I thought to myself, well, why did usually the mom will get custody? Why did she not have custody? What's going on with her that she can't have custody?
Well, Well, now, okay, so Tina, I appreciate all you here, liking, subscribing, and engaging, because we're covering so many cases that when cases pick up and things happen and we have the time to dig into it, we do. So right now we're doing the introduction, and you're giving me this story right now, and I could certainly dig into it. You say you live in New Jersey and no one's telling the story of the mom and dad. Brianna was underage when she became pregnant by Chris, which is the guy on trial. He allegedly essayed the mom. He's a toxic, malignant narcissist. Thank you for that background. I appreciate that. You know, um, that takes a deep dive to start getting into all that. So this is our first just introduction episode, and I know the trial's going on, so I appreciate all of your feedback. And we will play that when we get to it. The mom was tore up on the stand, says Nets World. So if I could find that, you guys want to watch a little bit of her testimony, we can. See, these people are a little ahead of us, but I'm glad they're here. So the mom was an addict, JT. And once that happens, then it's hard to, you got to do a lot and do drug tests all the time and so forth. So maybe she was in the process of that or something, but we'll find out as we go. All right, guys, I appreciate everyone rolling in. We're going to start with the introduction. There's the little guy. Now we know a little bit more. Little Lisa, new to your channel, really enjoying the content. I haven't heard of this case till now. Please forgive me. South Wales, UK. Well, hello. We love people from the UK and the US and everywhere else. All right.
Little Lisa.
Right. Gigi. Yeah, little Lisa. Corey's mom was a former DA and think they used against her and was able to get custody. He didn't want to pay child support. Yeah, how do we change that, guys? Doesn't that happen too often? They don't want the kid, they just want the money.
Yeah. It's a shame.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad you guys are watching the trial, and now you get to chat about it, because when the trial's happening, guess what? You don't really get to say anything because the chats, there's like 5 million people in chat and nobody answers. And by the time they do, the chat flies by. So I know that all too well. All right. So they do talk about the mother, and her name's Bree, like you said. I don't know how to say that last name. I'm going to say, I don't even know. You want to say that for me? Bree Micciolo? I don't know.
Kilo.
I'll figure it out. Micciolo. Okay. That might not even be it. Someone will correct me soon. Was the first witness to take the stand. Okay. I actually do think I have that clip here. And was in tears as she watched the horrific video. Days before her son's death, Bree, we'll say, reported the boy's injuries to the New Jersey Division of Child Protection and permanency, according to the U.S. Sun. Another April Fool's. On April 1st, she requested that Gregor take their son to see a doctor. And that's where their ad comes up. But I can see here that it says that at the appointment, Corey reportedly revealed his father made him run because he was too fat. The next day, Gregor rushed the young boy to the hospital because the boy woke up from a nap, stumbling and slurring his words, experiencing nausea and shortness of breath. And now we know why. All right. Oh, there she is. Okay, so we do see that then. We are going to get to that. All right. During the CT scan, so this didn't just like happen. See, and I'm learning this as we go. During the CT scan, I knew the case, but not the details. Corey suffered a seizure, forcing medical staff to take life-saving measures, but we were unsuccessful. An initial autopsy found Corey passed away as a result of blunt force injuries with cardiac and liver contusions with acute inflammation and sepsis. Gregor was arrested. Oh, this was in July 2021. So it does take a while to get to the courts, people. And everybody's wondering why, like Stephen Stearns, Jennifer Soto, isn't even arrested. Well, Jennifer Soto isn't, because it takes a while. So that was in 2021. And I think that's the mom there. And now we're kind of caught up. So let's look at that little guy.
And he liked pizza. Poor guy, man.
Right. I'm sure it reminds you of your son too. Little boys and pizza, right? Aw. But dang, he's so cute. So September 2021, a forensic pathologist determined Corey's passing to be a homicide as he suffered from. So his dad probably wasn't even arrested right away, including blunt impact injuries on his chest and abdomen with a laceration on his heart, left pulmonary contusion, and laceration and contusion of his liver. Dr. Thomas Andrews believed he suffered an acute traumatic injury to the heart for 12 hours before his passing. All right, we're done with that. So now you know if you have trigger warnings, then you've been warned. All right, let's do this. Let's go to the first video so we can actually see what we're talking about here. And I want you to see this, the way this is discussed, not disgusted, even though one of the answers is very interesting. After we heard the details of this, I'm not really sure how it could be explained in this way at all. Hold on 1 second. Let me pull this up. I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right. This will be our introduction video.
Well, it's time for another one. Let's kick it off with a Factor Uncensored. Thank you all for staying up late with us. Now, new and heartbreaking video shows how far a father pushed his 6-year-old son 2 weeks before the child's death. This surveillance video from a gym was introduced in court as evidence. It's from 2021. It shows Christopher Gregor putting his son, Corey Micciolo, through a grueling treadmill workout. The child can barely be seen above the machine. His dad allegedly put him on the torturous workout because that father said he was too fat. Corey can be seen trying to keep up with the pace of the treadmill before falling off several times, with his father forcing him to get back on the machine. Before dying, Corey suffered several bruises. His father is now charged with killing him and still blames the child's death on pneumonia. Corey's autopsy says he died from blunt force injuries with cardiac and liver contusions with acute inflammation and sepsis. Joining us to talk about it here on the Factor Uncensored, family therapist Dr. Christine Belliard, father's.
And now that is interesting. Somebody said, do you think maybe there was a roid rage thing going on? Let me put this in almost people quick. He talks really fast. So he was arrested 3 months after the death, but I wonder if he was, and there's no excuse, but I wonder if he was, taking steroids or something. He's a workout guy, and you know how that goes, right? Too much testosterone. Maybe we'll find out. Yeah, look at the beautiful little boy. All right. And I want to say thank you, Rowena Rains, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. All right, let's finish this video. Yeah, what's up? It's subscribe to JT, man.
Jay Bradley, Lewis Hunter, and Eva Go, who is also a parent and a fitness instructor. So, Christine, when you see this case and you see the results of the autopsy, does it look like the father caused his death?
Just looking at that video, my answer is yes. I think what we also need to keep in mind is that this father, if you notice, the son falls off. He's unbothered. He's unchanged. Mm-hmm. And so even if it's pneumonia or what have you, yes, if you have crises to your lungs or what have you, because he's 6 years old, his little body, this was just way too far and way too much.
All right. Lewis, let's hear from you on this.
All right. Well, I took a look at some of the case videos. And from what I understand, I mean, this event happened March the 20th. The kid died April the 2nd. We're talking 12 days. And in between those days, and he was working out. It's not like he took his son to the gym to run fat off of him. Mm-hmm. You know, he was working out. His mother dropped him off. He was in the gym already, and his son was working. Now, the video is rough, but it's rough by today's standards. I don't think, this father, if you know the story, this father didn't know he had a child until the kid was like 3 or 4 years old. He took full custody of this boy at I want to say at 4.
See, this kind of makes me mad here, and you guys can say your thoughts as well. I don't understand this guy at all and any of his justifications or even his perspective. This I absolutely, and I'll continue playing it because he doesn't go in any better direction. He actually makes me even more mad, and that's why I wanted to play this so you could see a different perspective. It doesn't matter if it was afterwards. I mean, just unbelievable. We'll keep playing. Hello, Millie. We love you. I'm glad you're here. And then the biting. Yeah. All right. Let's we have a lot more to go.
About 4 years old. The mother lost custody. And matter of fact, she wasn't even granted visitation for a while. He had the kid in Little League. The kid was not malnourished. The medical examiner said that when he passed, that his blood results came back, that his blood went septic. He had pneumonia. And there's also testimony that the physical bruising that he had. Let me also say this. Between that 12 days between this event and the date that he passed, he'd even tried out for football, did well, for a flag football team. He did very well, was accepted to the team. The mother had taken him to 3 different hospitals to try to prove abuse. 2 of the doctors said that his blood was septic, and she kept removing him and taking him to another hospital. So finally, when she drops him back off, a day later, he's lethargic, he's asleep. And he calls the mother up and says, hey, what's going on? He's sleeping. She says he's always like that. But 2 doctors had told her the week prior that he's septic right now. He died. He had pneumonia. This father did not kill his son.
Can I just ask, so when you watch the video, that does not look like abuse to you?
That doesn't look like abuse to me. I mean, to run your son, to run a boy. I'm glad they didn't have videos of football practices in the 80s. I seriously. Now, whatever he did, it looked like he bit him on the head. That looked kind of weird. But as far as running your son, making him push himself, I don't see a problem with that. It's rough. And if you get emotionally attached to that, I could expect a lot of mothers to have a problem with that. A lot of fathers, particularly fathers who have some involvement with Little League, they're not going to have a problem with this.
Lewis, you my guy. You're my man till I can't stand.
Now, if anybody gets mad at anybody, we should be mad at this guy here. I don't know who he is, but maybe he's having roid rage there because I don't even know where he's coming from on this. From this perspective at all. What do you think? I think you froze. You're muted.
Sorry, I'm with Carly. He's 6 years old. He's 6 years old. That's ridiculous. And to run your kid like that, like go jogging with him. Don't do anything to your kid you wouldn't do to yourself. So if you want to run like that, then run with them outside, and see if he can keep up. I probably bet he won't, but go jogging with your kid. I mean, to do that, and you saw how that kid was smacking his face. He didn't go up to him and look at him and see if he hurt himself, and even his neck was tweaking with the way he was falling. And this guy did not check on him once. So, yeah.
He fell several times as well. We watched it in fast motion. Later on, when we watch the other snippets, we're going to see it and we're going to be able to talk while it's playing. But he falls over and over and over, and he smacks his chest area and his face. I mean, everything about what this man says is completely unacceptable. And if anybody ever comes on my channel and was to say that, I would have words intelligently, but they would be very harsh. If somebody said that, I would highly disagree with that. I don't know what his perspective is unless he's the defense lawyer. But yeah, he is defending that guy, and I've seen football practice. That's much different than that. So yeah, let's keep going. I'm glad you guys are here and you're watching this with us, even if you're watching the trial already.
10 toes down in the sand. However, bro, this is harsh. This is pushing it now. Not even just by today's standard. I grew up where we had to get the belt, we had to get the switch, all the above. Oh, this is what you don't want to eat. Cool. Go to bed hungry. That's fine. You'll wake up tomorrow. Now, this is past. When your son is falling, I have a son that's 8. I would never allow my son to fall that many times. First of all, I run. You got the treadmill on. As a grown man, I don't just jump on the treadmill when it's already going at 10, or 8 miles an hour, whatever case is. You slow it down, you get it back up. And I get that you're trying to condition them to be tough and to be hard, but this is not the type of situation that you create for your child. Yes. And sometimes, man, these guys are reliving their own hoop dreams. I couldn't make it to the league, so you're going to be faster than me and all that stuff. Dad looked like he can lose a couple pounds. He need to get on the treadmill and do what he was trying to get his son to do. It's a little bit much, man. I'm not saying that he killed his son, but as a father, I watched this and I was very uncomfortable. And I do believe in discipline. I do believe in taking my son to the gym with me. And he doesn't do any weights. We'll do little push-ups here and there and this type of stuff just to get him a baseline of what to do as far as fitness. But this was way too much.
All right, Evil, let's hear from you.
All right. Well, I agree with both of y'all.
Pick a side.
Okay. Well,
Damn.
I don't defend this. We're in day 2 of the trial, so there's so much to be said. And I've looked at a lot of the footage and heard the prosecution and defense as well. And so much of what they each say has merit, and truth be told, in the end. But yes, I think that video is excessive. I would never do that to a 6-year-old child. And I am in club fitness. We don't even allow kids under the age of 12 up on the fitness floor on cardio equipment by themselves. And I know this is under the supervision of his father, but I think that was very excessive. And after so many repetitions of him falling, to keep putting him up there, I think that was way too much. Yes, we have played club sports. And if you've seen any coach on the floor or the field or the ballpark, you've seen them take some layers off kids. Do I excuse that? Not at all.
Yeah, you got to lose 2 pounds before the game.
Yep.
You know?
And Lewis, I know when you were speaking about growing up and other kids in your era, you're talking about boys in general. We're talking about a 6-year-old. What are your thoughts on a 6-year-old?
This was rough. There's no denying that. This was rough, and it was on tape. You know, it was recorded. So
I would look further at this man here. He said it's rough and it was on tape. So I wonder if his kids are already grown up by now, and he probably had that. He's on the older side, that rough method of, spanking your children like with things. Yeah, this guy, man. That's why I had to show it, because remember, there could be a guy like this on the jury, or a woman like this on the jury, folks. We're in day 3 now. JT.
I'm telling you, how they could not see this guy as abusing his kid, and like that. I like how the other guy said, you slow it down, and then if he was really trying to train him or whatever, teach him how to use the treadmill, he would have slowed it down, stopped the machine, slowed it down, start him back up. But he was just like, nah, it was clear abuse, man. As his father, you should have a heart and a brain, and you should know better than that.
This should never even be a question of acceptability in my mind, especially in this day and age with all the abuse going on. And this just is unacceptable, period. Let's listen to the rest.
Why do these monsters seek custody? It's so true, though. You hear case after case. It's like as soon as the custody will change too, and like the kid's dead like a month later, it's like, why? If you didn't like the kid, or the kid pisses you off that much, why would you want custody? I don't understand. Everything's money, I know, Jay.
Unfortunately, and it's dumb. That's the best word I could use. It's not even enough money to even go out to a sushi dinner twice a week. I don't understand these people having kids to get money. Like, I have a child, and I'll get a tax return. I spend that much money on a birthday party, a partial of a birthday party for the year. You know what I'm saying? When I get back the whole year, childcare is it cost, what is it around here? $1,800 a month for per month times 12. So I don't understand where people even, you get $3,000-4,000 back a year, or $500 a month in child support. That is nothing. That's how much I spend on my kids' wardrobe per month, not including anything else. So I don't know what these people
order not pay child support. Like Millie in the chat says, order not pay child support. So
that's a good one. Yeah.
And then they think they're saving money, I guess.
Yeah, and really they're not, because kids are expensive to have if you love them the correct way. Yeah, no justification, and I get none from this man, but I'm playing it because I want you to see that this guy could be somebody on the jury.
There's no denying that. He did some weird biting in the head thing. I'm sure that what I'm saying is that he didn't kill his son. I'm sure that his motivations were good. He messed up. He messed up as a father. He pushed a kid that was his own child, who was too young, and he pushed him in the wrong way. But the fact remains, he did not murder this child, which is what he's being charged for. The kid died a week and a half after, nearly 2 weeks after this event.
Go ahead.
I think they also concluded that a lot of the injuries were due to chronic abuse. So as they were saying, the debate is, did this happen in that 8 hours or so that he was in the care of his father that's questionable. If it's chronic, obviously it's been ongoing. So I think there's a lot more investigation to go to see who or if both sides have some participation in this. So I think it's early to say.
But I do think it opens up a larger conversation for all of us. The young boy, Corey, he is no longer here. He is gone.
Yeah.
So I think it's important for all of us to step back and just reflect on, what do I really understand to be abuse? Like when we say, oh, it was something weird with biting the head, that is abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. So it's important. Some things we justify. We have a culture of violence where it's like, oh, that's okay. It's normal. It's not okay. And this really has severe wounds. And unfortunately, Corey suffered in the most tragic way possible.
All right. We want to thank you all for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. And of course, we'll continue to follow this story out of New Jersey.
All right, so yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. Hopefully I can stop this before it goes to the next thing. So let's go to the next. Let's go to the next one. I want to start with the opening statements from Law and Crime. And you guys can see what's starting to happen. We're going to go back and forth with many things. I'll look at some of the comments before I start. But let's see. Yeah, here it is. Let me look at some of the comments before I hit play on anything. Hold on. Now, she was right. This case is about Corey, everybody. Some people are asking what happened. If you just rolled in and you missed it, you're going to see. We're not going to just pass by. You're going to see what happened to little Corey. Yeah, if you can't watch, that's okay. And thank you. I hope he gets justice too. I hope we don't have somebody on the jury that's like that, or two people like that. Yeah, again, trigger warning. This entire case is a trigger warning. If you can't handle it, then come back. Tomorrow we're going to be doing Elijah Vu. We're still looking for him, and we need justice, and we need to find him. So, yeah. Okay.
Justice for Elijah.
Justice for Elijah. Justice for Corey. And look at this man right here. That is absolutely disgusting. And there's nothing in my mind after seeing that video, no matter what the backstory is, that says he's not culpable for the passing of his son, no matter what, because he was in his custody. And even if it was chronic abuse, it doesn't matter what day that happened. It was happening up until then, and he passed away. So, and you know, again, we're going to watch the trial, but I'm sure I'm not going to say, oh, I don't think he did it. He should. No, there's no wavering here. All right. You said, see, we have to make light of this sometimes, because last episode I was like, I felt sad the whole time. And this is a sad case, but we also try to say funny things here. And I wish Coach Complete was here. This guy must be friends with Ruby Frankie. Absolutely. Do you know who that is, JT?
Who's that?
You know Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt,
No.
the ladies that locked up the ones that believe that the kids were demons, and they locked them in the closet and they had them tied up with duct tape. And yeah, now you gotta check out Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt. Anyway, yeah, you'll start getting more into the cases. Don't worry, we'll force you to. But Elijah Vu tomorrow, if it's the night. Jay, you're crazy. Yes, I'm a little crazy, but not crazy in the clinical way. All right, I commend her for being honest on the witness stand. All right, let's go. Let's start this thing and hear what these guys have to say here, and then we'll keep playing it, because I have to still pick my daughter up today. It's my turn every day.
And how Corey became the ultimate victim of this defendant's punishment and abuse.
And it sucks. This is a kid. No child should die. No child should die. But it's not murder.
A 6-year-old boy in New Jersey is dead after serious medical episodes while in his father's care. Could his death be tied to chronic abuse, like his father apparently forcing him to run on a treadmill? That's what prosecutors say happened, but the defense argues not everything is as it seems. We're breaking down what we're learning in the case against Christopher Gregor. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Hey there, everybody. This is a Law and Crime legal alert and a Law and Crime YouTube takeover. Google income.
Yeah, that's a good thing about fast forwarding this stuff.
When he woke up from a nap, and he was in very bad shape. He was apparently slurring his words, stumbling around, experiencing symptoms like nausea and shortness of breath. His father, Christopher Gregor, took him to get a CT scan, but that is where things got worse because Corey started having seizures and he died. Now, the boy's sudden death came 2 weeks after surveillance video inside of an apartment complex gym apparently shows Gregor forcing Corey to run at high speeds on a treadmill. An Ocean County, New Jersey medical examiner performed an autopsy on Corey's body, finding his cause of death was blunt force injuries with cardiac and liver contusions with acute inflammation and sepsis. That doctor did not rule on manner of death, instead listing it as undetermined. But a forensic pathologist followed up on the case in September of 2021, changing the manner of death to homicide, meaning death at the hands of another. That pathologist believes that Corey suffered an acute traumatic.
So we're actually kind of lucky that that happened and they went back and ruled it a different way, because sometimes that gets missed completely and it wouldn't be taken. It wouldn't even be looked at in a criminal manner. So
was that his personal gym?
What's that?
Was that his personal gym, or was that like an apartment? Was that like an apartment building gym?
Yeah, I think that's an apartment. I think that's where he lives, at that building, and they went back. I don't know why. They must have just went back. I'm not gonna say I don't know why. After they looked at it again and re-ruled, then they went back and looked at footage because they weren't even looking at it in a manner of homicide. And yeah, you're right. The Deb video is the key. It was at his apartment, yes. So we have a lot on this case. Like I said, trial started. I like doing cases that trial starts so we can go back and look at stuff and then do recaps, because I don't have all day to sit there and watch trials. How about you?
No,
I wish I did.
It's tough to keep up with these because I Google articles about Elijah all the time and keep up with the facts and all these cases. Now, it's to give you guys a good content. You know, it takes time to do your due diligence.
Research. Absolutely. And then you have to check if it's the correct things and so forth. So there's a lot to being a content creator and sharing others' content as well. All right. Let's listen some more.
Injury to his heart between 4 and 12 hours before he died. The doctor said that he found evidence of recurring physical abuse. So with that, let's go back to the timeline. March 20th, 2021, Gregor allegedly forced Corey to run on the gym treadmill. In the video, you can see Corey falling multiple times, getting back up, Gregor sometimes pulling him up by his shirt. He even appears to maybe bite him on the top of the head. Gregor was ultimately charged with child endangerment for that back in July of 2021. Pretty sickening, pretty disturbing, disgusting to see. But then you go to April 2nd, 2021, just a couple weeks after this treadmill incident, and Corey dies, apparently, as I said, from this trauma, this blunt force trauma. Gregor was charged with first-degree murder in connection with Corey's death in March of 2022. And since then, he's been locked up in the Ocean County Jail without bond. Court records show that Gregor turned down a 30-year plea offer, now faces life in prison if he's convicted. But what about Corey's mother? Let's talk about her, Brianna Micciolo. She and Gregor shared joint custody of Corey after Gregor had recently re-entered their lives. She claims that she had reported Gregor's alleged abuse to authorities but wasn't taken seriously. Now, she was the first witness to take the stand in Gregor's murder trial this week. We're going to get to that in a second, but let's just go back to how Gregor came into their lives. So Gregor says he got a court notification in 2017 about a paternity test for a child that he claims he didn't know he had. Brianna was looking for child support payments. So he took the test, realized he is, in fact, the father of Corey. Gregor's attorneys say he wanted to be a father. He wanted to be involved in his son's life. So he became a part of Corey's life when Corey was 5. And then
that is the key right there, everybody. That's the key. He didn't know he was a dad. And then she wanted child support, and boom. Now, let me know if this is going too fast for anyone. You want me to slow it down, JT?
Yeah, it's starting to make sense now.
Yeah, for sure. We gotta always fill in the details. I think a lot of us don't actually know all the details. We start watching it part way or whatever. So yeah, we want to fill everyone in, and then once we catch up, then I can start putting together. We can both start putting together different clips for everybody that can't watch trial every day. All right.
Not long after, Corey would no longer be in anyone's lives. Opening statements were delivered on Tuesday. Prosecution goes first. They have the burden. And here is prosecutor Jamie Schron talking a little bit more about young Corey.
Corey Travis Micciolo. He liked the solar system. He liked to play outside. His mom describes him as silly and happy. Corey was 6 on April 2nd, 2021, when his father murdered him. His father is this defendant, Christopher Gregor. This case is about Corey and how Corey became the ultimate victim of this defendant's punishment and abuse. Back in March of 2021, Corey's parents hadn't been together, but they shared custody. Corey lived with the defendant, and his mom had visitation. On March 20th of 2021, Corey's mom picked him up for a visit. They went to Pennsylvania, and they saw their family. They were supposed to be back at about 3 or 4 o'clock. They were in Pennsylvania, there was traffic, and they were running late. Corey's mom told the defendant that. But Brianna's lateness, you'll hear, was pissing him off.
All right, here you go, guys. This is going to be the key here to everything. And this is why I always like to play opening statements when we get into a trial, because opening statements and then key witnesses are always what is the telling point to the whole case and what's happening. So now we're listening to this. We know we got the backstory. Opening statements are the most important thing, I believe. Opening and closing.
He told Brianna to drop Corey off at the apartment complex's gym and meet him there. So she did. Corey and the defendant went into the gym, and you'll see what happened next. Because that gym had a surveillance system, and you will see what this defendant did to his son inside that gym. After that day, when Corey went back to school during the week, his teacher, his first grade teacher, started to notice some bruises on Corey. She was concerned. She's going to tell you that after March 25th of 2021, Corey was never physically back in person in school ever again. During this time, Corey's mom was also concerned. She had seen bruises.
So now we have a better idea of why it's not so cut and dry, because it didn't happen immediately. JT. So
yeah, he didn't die like the next night or anything. So, but what he died from still could have been those injuries from those falls.
Absolutely. And that's what the jury's going to decide. But I have a feeling there was a lot more of that going on behind the scenes. It's just what they got on camera. And so that's why the guy didn't take the plea deal. That's why he's on trial right now. And he's trying to, get his way out of it and say, oh, it wasn't from that. So it gives us a better sense, because we watched the treadmill thing and we're like, oh, he's guilty, like right away. And then as we go, I have my side, right? I'm not on the jury, so it doesn't matter. I can be biased. I know it's innocent until proven guilty. We haven't heard all the story yet. There could have been something else that happened in between everybody. I mean, he could have been on a bike and fallen in between. We don't know all the stuff yet. So, but when it enrages you to see that treadmill scene. So, let's go.
My only thought is, if that's what we can see because there's a camera there, what else has happened when there's no camera?
Exactly. That's what I was saying. That's what I was trying to say before. I guess maybe I didn't say it right. Whatever we saw, but what else happened before that, in between? It sounded like there was a lot of injuries going on there. And I think that's what they're going to say is chronic abuse is what they're charging him with, I mean, that might not be the charge, but that's what they're leading up to. Yeah. Internal injuries are that's a bad thing, because sometimes it is prolonged. You don't pass away right away. And that dad does look angry just being at trial, doesn't he?
Oh man, he looks like a deer in headlights, that's for sure.
Yeah, he definitely looks angry. Sometimes I see defendants sitting there looking remorseful. Not 1 ounce. All right.
As well. She was so concerned that she filed an emergent application with court to get custody. Corey wakes up in the morning. He has his breakfast. His mom dresses him in clean clothes. And he's with his mom the whole time. And she drives him back to the defendant's apartment in Barnegat. Corey and his mom sat in the car in the parking lot, and they said goodbye for what would be the very last time. Corey was walking. Corey was talking. Corey was fine, except for his bruises. By 9:03 a.m., Corey was back inside the defendant's apartment. You'll hear.
This is a life in prison case. It's a life case, and they offered him 30 years, but no, there's no DP on the table. I think this is going to be a tricky case because it didn't immediately happen, and he probably has a good attorney. So what we saw wasn't the direct result of it. So they're lucky. That's why they even tried to give him a deal. They're not lucky. I'm just saying they wouldn't even have gave him a deal if it was a direct connection. They'd have said, nope, we're just going to trial. So all they have to do is get one of those guys that we just saw at the beginning like that says no. And, there's a mistrial. So, all right.
That the defendant wasn't happy. But he told people, Corey's okay. Corey's all right. Except by 3:48 p.m., this defendant carried Corey's nearly limp body into Southern Ocean Medical Center. He reported that Corey was sleepy and had thrown up. Corey was admitted quickly. He was brought to room 6 in the emergency department. Corey coded. He was intubated. He coded again. He lost his pulse. And by 5:03 p.m., Corey was pronounced dead. This defendant, shortly after, walked out of the hospital, got into his car, and he left. Left the hospital, and he left Corey. There were a lot of people in Corey's life, and you'll hear about some of them. Some might be positive, and some might not. But don't let that derail you. You all came here to serve as jurors in this case with everything that you need. And those are your life experiences and your common sense. Use it. Corey was alive and well at 9 a.m. when he was with his mom, and he was gone by 5:03 p.m. after only being with his father, this defendant. The state submits that after you've heard and seen all of the evidence in this case, you will be firmly convinced that this defendant is guilty of abuse and murder. Because healthy 6-year-olds don't just die during the course of a business day, and neither did Corey Micciolo.
So the prosecution is saying, look, Corey was in Gregor's custody. He
I'll
was in his
slow
care.
it down now.
Gregor is seen on camera allegedly abusing this young boy. This young boy is covered in bruises. He dies suddenly out of nowhere. Wouldn't be too hard to connect the dots here. Wouldn't be too hard to prove that Gregor is responsible, that he caused the death of his son. The defense is saying, not so fast. They had their turn to deliver an opening statement, and they said, yeah, it's true. You're not going to look too kindly on our client. But that doesn't mean he killed his son. In fact, his mother, Brianna, spent the most time with him in the days leading up to his death. Here's attorney Mario Gallucci.
But you will see, and what I will agree.
All right, guys, now you guys get to hear the defense side and what we actually probably aren't going to like, but we use common sense and logic, and there actually may be some people that look at this case the way the other guy did. So let's listen real quick. Again, we always do clips of this so you can get a good idea without having to watch all day long. But I'm interested to hear what actual defense, and I think it's just that it didn't happen that day, so it's not directly correlated, and it was something else, right?
Agree with is what Micciolo just told you about a treadmill video. You're going to see that on March 20th, Christopher takes that young boy into a gym that's part of his residential complex. And in that gym, you see him put Corey on the treadmill, and he begins to work out while he's watching him from across the room. At some point, you're going to see Christopher go over to that treadmill and speed it up. And you're going to see Corey fall. And you're going to see him pick that boy up 6 times. And 6 times put him back on the treadmill. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to like him. And I don't care if you like him. When you see that video, you're going to be horrified. You're going to be mortified. But I'm telling you right now that the evidence you're going to see of Corey's death had absolutely nothing to do with that treadmill. You will hear that when she sees the bruises, Ms. Micciolo, that she makes an emergency application to the court to regain the full custody, by the way, which she never, ever had gotten back from March of 2020. And that application.
Well, there you go. There's a defense. Just what we said. There's this kid. You see him on the treadmill. He fell down. He did 6 times. And guess what? It wasn't directly connected. So you see, I mean, JT, you see what's happening here?
Yeah. Oh, and Dad was watching, he was watching from across the room while he was working out. Like, what a load.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost hard to even think about defending someone like this. I couldn't imagine being a defense attorney and saying, I know you saw that video and everything, what he did, but he didn't do it,
Says it all, Jay.
What's that?
The lady's face behind him says it all. That's kind of how I feel about him right now. I'm just like,
Right. Yeah. When we first started this video and we were watching the treadmill, you were so heated. I could see, because I know how I felt with the Madeline. I feel this way too, but the daughter and the son, I just could see that you wanted to like grab him through the screen. And then you see this guy defending him and you're like, oh, man, now I want to punch his attorney. All right, let's see what else he has to say.
Was denied. She goes to Ivy Pediatrics and they do an exam. They don't really find too much wrong with him, except he has bruises. They do blood work. They do tests. Help. Just like Micciolo told you. Help. But they recommended to her that she follow up and that they would want to take her to Jersey Shore Medical Center to follow up on a child abuse allegation from the treadmill. You will see that Corey disclosed to the doctor at Ivy that my dad made me run on the treadmill, that I fell on the treadmill, and I also fell playing football. You will hear that she went against the advice of Ivy Pediatrics and left. And she took him to another hospital, community health center, I believe it's called. And at that hospital, they did another evaluation. And during that evaluation, Corey was healthy, had a few bruises, but still suspected child abuse. We recommend to you that we take Corey to Jersey Shore Medical Center. And you're going to hear that when he was at Jersey Shore Medical Center, they found that he had a possibility of something called sepsis, which you'll understand from a doctor. I'm not a doctor, I'm a lawyer. The doctors are going to testify here. And you're going to understand that sepsis is your body's reaction to an infection. And it's a rapid response to that infection. And that rapid response you're going to hear from doctors will tell you can show a child is loopy, disoriented, nauseous. And Jersey Shore Medical Center told her, Brianna, leave the child here. And she did not. She took Corey home, signed papers against.
Okay, so somebody says defense has to prove reasonable doubt. So there you go. Right there. He's saying that the mom should have left him in the hospital and maybe he wouldn't have passed and it wasn't directly related. So
I don't know. But he did play football in between there too.
Well, you see what's happening now. You see how you go from that to. So I really hope Corey gets justice, because I really do think that what we saw caught on camera wasn't something that just happened. What was caught on camera. I think there was a lot more going on behind the scenes. And hey, from Finland, yeah. So I mean, this guy and this is a pretty good attorney right now. He's very bold. This is nothing like the Daybell case. If anybody watched the Daybell opening statements with me, I think we were falling asleep on those ones. We were trying to stay awake for that. These ones are pretty powerful from both sides. They did. It's one last thing. I want the autopsy doc and ask very closely. Look at the guy's entire spine. You get sepsis from the injury too. Yeah, and we're just not there yet. But it was no contact football, Millie says.
Yeah.
Which most kids play.
Yeah, maybe he fell down there too, and that just added to what happened on the treadmill.
Right. Yeah. Well, let's pray while we're covering this case, and through the end that we get justice for Corey.
Advice. She took him home. You're going to hear testimony that he looked like he was drunk And you're going to see Christopher drive him to Southern Ocean Medical Center. And you're going to see him pull up to the emergency department. And you're going to see him carry that little boy into a hospital. And you're going to see him standing there holding that child in his arms, which seems like hours, before anybody comes to help him. And they do. And they come and they help him and they take Christopher away, Corey away. And they start to do some testing. And then they decide they need to do a CAT scan. And while during the CAT scan, Corey seizes, goes into cardiac arrest. Life-saving techniques are now used to try to revive him. He does. And it sucks. This is a kid. No child should die. No child should die. But it's not murder.
It's interesting, right? Because it's a question of not only
Hold on. I want to pause it because now it's going way too fast.
did Gregor kill his son or cause his death, but whether anyone killed him. Was it sepsis? And as we mentioned, Brianna Micciolo, Corey's mom, was the first witness called to the stand. And we learned that she was 17 and in 11th grade when she gave birth to Corey in 2014. Gregor was in his early 20s, but as we said, Gregor didn't know about Corey until the boy was around 4. Micciolo revealed on the stand why a family court granted Gregor the status of resident parent, meaning Corey lived with him and Micciolo was allowed visitation before a judge approved joint custody.
Now, Brianna, have you struggled with substance abuse?
Yes.
And have you specifically struggled with drugs?
Yes.
And can you please tell the jurors about this?
Yes. In my early 20s, I struggled with drug abuse. When I was younger, I went through a lot, and I feel like I used the drugs to suppress my emotions. I didn't really have the coping skills that I do now. And like I said, I was just going through a lot, but I've been clean currently for a long time.
And have you ever used drugs in front of your son, Corey?
No.
And can you tell us why you were granted custody of Corey in October of 2020?
I went through a drug program and I provided clean urines, and I just fought really hard because I hated living without my son.
Now, Corey's parents seemingly had a contentious relationship with each other, and this was documented a bit by the text messages between the two, talking about how much time Corey was spending with one of them or the other.
Did you speak?
I also wonder where that came in, because I almost lost sight of the fact that they call this abuse because his son was forced to run the treadmill for being fat. Like, where's that even in this case, or what does it have to do with it? First of all, he's not fat, but everything I've heard so far has nothing to even do with that. I wonder what that's about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's interesting. And now I see that I guess what do they call that? DFC was called over 100 times, and yet the dad still had him, and this still happened. So DCF actually, or DFC, I don't know which one it is, actually fails a lot of times because they have this protocol, and unless they actually see something like right then and there, if someone's not hiding it, right, they tell you, hey, I'm coming over Wednesday at 3:00, and then the people tell the kids, do this, and so a lot more times than not that actually happens.
Yeah, CPS fails, and what it does, it's very unfortunate. I feel like it failed Elijah Vu too. The neighbors would call all the time, and they just would do nothing.
So many cases. We can have a list of how the Child Protective Services that have failed. I mean, I wish I knew the name right now, and somebody will in chat, where that happened a bunch of times. There was a contentious relationship. CPS came hundreds of times. She came the last time to pick up the kids and check on the visit. And as it happened, the guy locked her out, and then he killed all of them inside the house while she was standing outside the door on the phone. So she's traumatized for life. The kids are gone. He's gone. The wife had went missing. Somebody will know what case it is. There's just so many cases I can go to. Like, it happened while she was standing at the door. He locked her out and did that.
Harmony too. They failed Harmony too.
Yeah, we haven't even found her, then
say where he put her.
Well, and Kayla's just free now. She was with him the whole time when that was happening, and she didn't do anything. So I feel like that was a huge failure.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
She even
okay, thank you.
Yeah, took her
Go
to
ahead.
his work. So she even took him to
Yeah.
took the body to his work. So I don't how they. I suppose it's a plea deal, but if you would have got like maybe where the body was, I would have given her a deal. Maybe that's his deal.
Well, nobody would have told anything. Now she's already out because they wouldn't have known the story at all. But she was there the whole time. I mean, she sat on the stand and said, "Oh yeah, he punched her and he did this." Like she was there the entire time. She even conceived a child while Harmony was in the attic, in the top of the roof where they hit it, where they hit her body. They were in there conceiving another kid. So yeah, thank you, Carly. Susan Powell, that was the one. She went missing, and he got custody, and then offed all of them right with the CPS outside of the door. Unbelievable. And the 911 worker was the dispatcher was she was we'll call it a piece of work. That lady might have been able to save the children, but if you heard those 911 calls, she was being rude to the CPS lady and just like that. So failure, and more failures. All right, let's go. I still have to pick up my daughter in a while.
To Corey in the car before you sent him into the defendant's home.
I did.
And was that the last time that you spoke to Corey?
Was.
At 3:30 on April 2nd, what did the defendant tell you about Corey?
He said he was lethargic. His legs were hurting. He was sleeping all day, and he was throwing up and just didn't feel good. And then he told me to send Corey's insurance card to him.
And did you send the defendant Corey's insurance card?
I did.
And did the defendant say anything about taking Corey to the hospital?
Yes.
And did the defendant tell you what hospital he was taking Corey to?
No.
Was that the last time that you had spoken to the defendant on that day?
Yes.
And did you learn what hospital Corey was taken to?
Yes.
After the phone conversation, did you know at that time what hospital Corey was taken to?
No.
And at that time, what did you do?
I started calling the hospitals to see if Corey was there. I also called my local police department to report Corey as like I don't know where he is, and he's not feeling good. He's sick.
And about 6 o'clock that day on the 2nd, did the police come to your home?
Yes.
And did you learn at that time that Corey had passed?
I did.
Now, on that same day that Corey passed away, did you go to the police station and provide a statement?
I did.
And when it came time for the defense to cross-examine Micciolo, they focused first on her history of using methamphetamine and any relapses.
So, in January of 2020, you have a drug issue and you lose custody of Corey. In March of 2000.
You know what sucks, JT? That has nothing to do with the dad's failure and the video we saw and probably other abuse that was happening. That's where I feel like the justice system fails a lot of times when you have those kind of things being brought up. That what does that have to do with that?
Yeah. Just get to what's important, right?
I mean, the judge is allowed to let things let things in that are pertinent to the case, and I understand them having a little bit of a backstory about it, but so far all I've heard is them point the finger at everybody else but the dad. I've heard like 5 different people that they've tried to blame it on. So it's just, I guess that's a defense, but it just, the best word I can say is it sucks, man. You know? Damn. All right.
You still don't have custody of Corey. I believe it's in October, though, of 2020 that you're now allowed visitation.
I am, yes.
Okay. And in October of 2020, you then relapse in December of 2020.
Yes.
Does Christopher know that you relapsed in December of 2020? Did you tell him?
I don't believe I did.
And did you go back to rehab?
I did not.
Were you able to get over the addiction at that?
No.
So you relapsed again?
Yes.
When did you relapse again?
I don't know. I have to think. Maybe February. I can't recall. It was on and off like once or twice.
February of 2021?
Yes.
And was that the last class?
Yes. Yes.
So from February 2021 until you sit here today, you've been sober.
No.
You relapsed again.
Okay. Yes, I did one time. Yes.
Okay. What was that?
Probably around the same time.
Did Christopher ask you to send him the insurance money commission?
Around 3:30.
Do you remember in this Facebook chat? So that's the day Corey died.
It was.
Okay. That's the day that you don't know what's going on, right? You don't have any idea what's going on yet, right?
Correct.
All right. And you're asking Justin to bring you a methamphetamine.
Yes.
So, and you said that you relapsed in February.
Yes.
Is that true?
I actually that day I didn't do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you wanted to do it.
I mean, yeah, I was very upset about my son being abused.
So you wanted a methamphetamine. What is it?
Methamphetamine.
Methamphetamine. Do you recall on the same time, a little later in the afternoon, where you are saying, can I come over and buy one?
What time was this? 4:03. I do. Yeah. This is the same text message.
You know what I hope? I hope that he gets to take the stand, or has to take the stand, or decides to take the stand, because I'd really like to know his faults. Now, I can see why she didn't have Corey, but she didn't do anything wrong because she didn't have him. And yeah, she was battling addiction, but what does that have to do with the day, that day? It's like she's on trial. I think that's the worst thing when I watch trials, when they do that to other people.
Yeah, I think they're
You
just
think it's
trying
gonna
to make her look like a worse character than him, even despite the video they watched.
Yeah, that's a good, yeah. You're right, because when we watch it first, we're angry, and now we're focusing on her, and now we're mad at her.
Now we're getting
Which
mad at
I
her.
am. I am mad at her because, I'm mad because she didn't have custody and take care of her son, but she's not the one that did that. She didn't have custody of him to be able to do that. They took him away.
You gotta love your
okay.
kids more than you love drugs. I mean,
Or a man, or a woman, or
Yeah.
anything else. Period.
have to love your kids.
All right. Above everything else. All right. We're almost done with this clip.
And do you recall then going on and saying, I could get it by myself? I just don't want that much.
Yes.
Now, what does that mean? I don't want that much.
I wasn't like in active addiction, so I didn't need much. So that's what that means.
So on the day that you are complaining that your son was allegedly used by Christopher, you're asking your boyfriend to bring you methamphetamine.
I did.
You can kind of see where the defense is going with this, right? They're trying to destroy Brianna Micciolo's credibility. And we expect to hear from other family members, doctors, coroners, pathologists, and more during this trial as the jury tries to sort out exactly what injuries this little boy had, when he got them, and who's responsible, if anyone. We will continue to follow for you right here on Sidebar. That's all we have for you, everybody.
All right. So we're done with that. Let me make sure I get there. All right, man. Yeah, this is these cases, they're hard. Last Friday I did missing children Friday, I did Summer Wells, and it gets heavy, man. It really does.
The kid stuff hits me the worst. Like, I'm not saying like I'm heartless towards adults, but when it's a kid, it just, or a dog even, just destroys me, an animal.
Oh my God. You sound like so many people I know. They say the same thing. It's like you can watch somebody, you watch a horror movie or something, and they kill a bunch of people in a horror movie, and then they kill the dog, and you're like, now I hate them.
You're like, turn this off.
Turn this off, right? Yeah, that's Terry, just what JT said. Love your kids above anything else. And yeah, bad choice, drug use, period. But the fact is she didn't have him because of her bad choice. And he was in the care of the father. And I feel like the father was probably angry at her and a bunch of other things. C. Bright says, I'm impressed with the mom. She showed a ton of courage and honesty, no excuse. But yeah, she was trying and believed while being terrified and traumatized. Yeah, I'm glad that she was able to get herself together to be able to go to court. We know, Carly, you can't hear dog stories. Or Sarah McLachlan. I try to call Carly when I wake up. One night I woke up at I just woke up in the middle of the night and I texted her about Sarah McLachlan just to mess with her. That damn song. You're watching TV at 3 a.m. and it comes on in the sad dogs.
Oh yeah, it gets me every time.
You're like, take my money, please. It's just take it.
Come on, I'm like, where's the? I would look for the remote because it comes on so many times. I'm just like, I can't. And then it makes me all upset that I grab my dogs and squeeze them tight. I'm like, come here.
I know. And see, sometimes it's nice to be able to. I love having you here. By the way, it's nice to break things up and be able to talk, and then also talk things out with perspectives, because yeah, we have we're two different people, similar perspectives, but definitely different things to say. So it's nice and it's not so heavy, man.
Right.
This is heavy. All right, I got another clip, and if this doesn't have sound, we can still talk and I can interact with chat. I'll lower it if it is. Because the other one, yeah, there's no volume. The other one, I'm just going to play it while we kind of talk. The other one I played really fast, 1 point whatever speed. So this is showing him just in general. It's a longer clip, and it's what they're playing in court. And I thought it would be nice to actually show it. I mean, if you're watching the case right now, this is what they're showing. It's not just like a small thing. It's the guy's over there, probably on his phone. The kid's doing the treadmill, like, typical. Nothing to see here.
I mean, look how that kid is, man. He's minding his own business, and it's a shame.
Y'all and those dogs they use already. Oh no, don't say that. B-Dog. I think B-Dog's from your channel, brother.
Hey,
you know him? Yeah, you gotta definitely this weekend let your boys, let your people know, because everybody loves true crime. Either you love it or you hate it, but the ones that love it will definitely want to see you more.
Yeah, I'm definitely a true crime guy.
Yeah, and I'm sure your friends are too. Probably ones that will surprise you, like, "Oh, you like that too? Cool." Yeah. So we're just watching this. This is what they show in court. It's a. I'll speed it up a little bit because I don't know why I had it on normal speed. It's the dad's working out. This is what was happening that day. This is actually right before this. I fast forwarded. The mom was on the stand, and then they're playing this. So that's a backstory to it. So you can just kind of see it's a typical day. He's doing his thing. I still don't understand. And if somebody's watching this case, why they say he's fat. I wonder if the backstory to that is he's in sports and they wanted him to be slimmed down or something. What do you think? I don't get it.
I think this dad is just being a bully, to be honest with you. There's nothing fat about the kid. No matter I don't care what sport he's playing.
Yeah, no, exactly. The only one that they do that I know is, I know for sure wrestling. Wrestling, you have to be like a certain weight class or whatever to make it, or you can't compete. I remember that in high school with the guys that I was hanging out with. They're like, I can't eat today because, okay, so hold on real quick. So they were just showing a typical day. Nothing had happened there. We saw the abuse, but I kind of wanted you guys to see that because, I think they had lots of that type of footage going on. And I don't know if anything was wrong with that. Let's see if she said something different here. I don't know if him just being on the treadmill, if it wasn't a bad thing, just having his son work out while he is. Although I do think he was pushing him a little too hard. Like that was a little too fast,
It was fast, yeah.
But yeah, boxing too. I was gonna say boxing, but they don't do boxing in high school, and I was referring to that.
Yeah, I think 6 years old is a little young for boxing too, right?
Yeah, they're way too young, exactly. Bishop accidentally blocked themselves. You're back now, Bishop. How'd you block yourself? I didn't even know you could do that. All right, let's see if I think that she says something else. If not, then I'll go to the next one.
Runner, we're just going to move to the next video, which would be S18C for purposes of the record.
All right, so now I can go back down because we don't need the volume for this. I wanted to interact with with you and the crew, and see what they're showing the people in court. Let's see. After falling, I would be concerned and check my kids. Yeah. But we saw that at the beginning, guys. He fell and hit his chest and his face, and he kept getting him back up.
Yeah, and these weren't just like when kids like are kind of like jogging around their room and they throw themselves to the ground or something like that. Like he was face planting into a treadmill that looked like it was almost at its highest speed.
And the incline was too, right?
Yeah, yep. The incline was up, so that's gotta. And his neck almost looked like it was getting tweaked too. So it's still.
Oh yeah, it was full force.
Yeah. I mean, it can't feel good. That's for sure. I know if I did that on a treadmill, like I would probably be hurting really bad. I'd probably have to go to the hospital, honestly, because I'd probably either break something or maybe have them check to see if I hurt something internally, which is what happened to this little boy.
Right, and we're talking about just a one-time fall, not get back up, do it again, get back up. He did that 6 times.
Yeah, and he could have slowed down that treadmill 6 times and let him started, from a stop and say, okay, we're going to start it at level 1 and then work our way up. And then teach the boy. He's 6. You can't teach the boy to hit the button when he wants to go faster or hit it when he wants to go slower. You don't even need to touch it. You need to watch it and make sure he doesn't do something too fast. But there was nothing about this guy that says good father.
No, and if you look at this here, you're kind of like, okay, he's working out, he's running, although that you don't know the backstory. If you don't know the backstory, right? And I think this may be the defense, or it may, I'm not sure what side's playing it, if they're just saying it's a typical day, right? Because they have the mom on the stand and they're playing now. We're just playing clips of it. But if you look at it from this way, you're just like, okay, he's running. It's a typical day. Maybe that was an accident that day or something. But when you see it full force like that, that's a whole different story. Right, I'll go a little bit farther. We're almost done with this. I just kind of wanted to see what the jury's seeing. He kept, let's see, it came back over there. All right, now he's talking to him. We don't hear the talking either, by the way.
Yeah, this is where he boosts up his speed on him. You can tell he's faster now than the kid was before he came over there.
Right. Yep, there it goes. This is where earlier it was just full on, like really fast.
6-year-old.
Yeah, there you go.
Moron.
So now they're showing that and they're having the reaction to the mom.
Look how fast he's trying to run. And he hit it again.
I know, and he's just standing there with his arms like bullying him.
Now he's starting to go backwards.
Okay, now you guys can see it. Now you guys can see it. All right. He picks him back up. Look at how he puts him on. Hold on. I'm going to put this at regular normal so you can see. And then, of course, you got the reaction of the mom. They're going to do that. All right. Yeah, this is where it happens, folks. Okay.
Look at that.
Damn, man.
And that's whiplash. Now
and he keeps
whiplash. And you see his head get thrown back like this from the whiplash.
He's almost bent in half.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't see that the first time because it was going so fast. Dang, man. So he slows it back down.
Yeah, but like you should have checked on your kid to see if his back and neck and stuff is okay. You don't just say, okay, like jog that off.
Oh, a lot more than that. I can't even. Yeah, I'm going to lower this down because you can't really hear anything. So he stops him again. Well, I mean, after the first time, that was unacceptable. And the second. So I wonder how many other times that actually happened and what it took to get to the injuries. So I guess that was what happened, right? So now they're saying, all right, let's see.
Never
Let's see.
once checks on him, though. Never once checks on him.
No, no, he puts them back up. All right, we're almost through this.
Your Honor, permission to publish a video.
Maybe this is more abuse. Okay. So trigger warning here, Carly. Put a trigger warning up.
Now, Brianna, who is the child located in that video?
That's Corey.
And how old was Corey in that video?
He was 6.
And who is the adult male located in that video?
The defendant.
And again, you're familiar with that area?
Yes.
Now, when was the first time that you ever saw that video?
A few weeks ago.
And have you ever had possession of that video?
No.
Your Honor, there's no further questions for the witness at this time.
All right, so that definitely must have been hard for her to see that. I mean, I'm sure she's probably had to see it lots of times. All right, let's see. Can we put ourselves back up? I meant to do it this way. All right, this is a rough case. I think there's a lot more that we have to get into. I don't think I have a lot more time. Let me see if this recap real quick. Hold on. And then I think we might wrap stuff up. Oops, sorry. I have one more clip, and I think it kind of talks about a wrap up of what's going on, and then everybody just chat. There's a lot to get into about this, guys.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. Thanks for following along with us. We are following the Doomsday Cult murder trial in Idaho, where Chad Daybell is on trial. They are in a morning break. So while we wait for that case to get started up again in the courtroom, we are following jury selection in another trial.
Yeah, up in the state of New Jersey, and this is
now we're already into jury, so I think that.
And this defendant has been.
Yeah, I think we're going to stop doing this one. So we're just going to kind of talk about the wrap up here, and what's next, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Corey. I mean, that poor kid, man. You just wish these parents would just open their hearts more, man, and just look at their child as the gift they are, and just have more love. It's a shame.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I need to put a timeline together as well, or I can find one. I mean, I heard it, but in my head, I want to visualize. I know that happened, and then the timeline was what? How many days after did he take him? Do you recall that right now?
I think it was a week.
It's kind of all over the place.
Week and a half he died.
Okay.
After that, so that's what their defense is trying to say, and he had football too.
In between that.
In between that, so I wonder if he even got injured. But when he went to the doctor, he said he fell playing football and on the treadmill.
Now, did you notice how typical it seemed for him? He fell down and then they just walked out of there like nothing. He kept falling down and then he walked out and was like, okay, on to the next. Oh, that's a lot. I think there's going to be a lot to this case, and I'm definitely in it for the long haul. If you are, I will,
absolutely.
Definitely do my research. Next episode, I'll put a timeline together at the very beginning so everybody can have a recap of it. And then by then we'll have we'll have certain days and people that have testified, and we can go through like recaps of testifying. And I love seeing stuff like that. I love hearing one thing and then I love hearing the defense, because it's like, wait, what? Sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it's just them completely deflecting, right?
That's the power of words and images, and if they match up together, and the proof, and it's I'm telling you, the true crime business is it's an interesting game, that's for sure.
Attorneys and just the whole justice system, judges, attorneys, police, all of that it's not the way it's supposed to be. I don't think it's the way it's meant to be. It's a lot of old laws that haven't changed, and all you have to do is find this little like loophole, and that's it. It could be as clear as day. You can watch somebody shoot somebody on camera, but then they get off, or vice versa, right?
Well, like that guy who shot his wife literally while she was filming. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't. Which
Yeah,
one?
the lady was filming and they were going through a divorce, and he literally had a shotgun and shot her on camera while she filmed, and she died.
And did he?
And he's off.
What was his sentence?
He got off.
What was the justification for that?
Honestly, she stole money and some other stuff.
Oh,
I thought to myself, well, that doesn't, give him a right to murder her. So
so he was trying to say self-defense.
Not even self-defense, just he was done wrong, or what did he call it? Passion? It was a passion crime or something.
Oh, a crime of passion.
Yeah, I think that was his defense.
That's interesting. When they have wow, that isn't even. I'm gonna have to look up that case where they have it on camera, because I've seen something like two recent cases I've seen that, like, when you hear it, there's no way I'm watching it and I'm sitting there like, for the defendant, right? I'm like, there's no way they're gonna get convicted, and they do.
Oh yeah, she was having an affair too, and spending his money on the new guy, the bishop. He's got it right.
Okay, she was having an affair. Okay, so it must have been in Texas. Just kidding.
Honestly,
in Texas,
you might even be right.
I have
no idea.
In Texas, back in the day, if you're well, anywhere back in the day, if your wife cheats, you're allowed to just off her. So yeah, she was having an affair. Let's be able to show her. And thank you for the gifting membership, Jojo. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's so much. The law just doesn't make sense sometimes, and then other times you feel like there's justice. So this case, we really want justice, because I mean, I when I see that treadmill video, and even we hear the opening so far, and from what we're seeing, he's culpable for something. I don't know what what the charges are exactly. Does anybody know? I don't know if it's first degree, second degree, what. I mean, we'll figure all this out. We're just kind of starting and getting into the case. We'll do everybody. She was on drugs, but the lady, they might be talking about your case. Yeah, so we have a lot to learn on this case, guys, and we'll get it all together. I wanted to introduce everyone. I wanted to show you what I saw was that guy at the beginning saying, "Oh no, kids play football. They work hard. They do that. That's okay." and then
6 years old.
Well, I mean, I think even if that kid was 12, yeah, but the treadmill is unexcusable. Even if you were 15 and you drop them down like that over and over, that's it right there. It just says that. Oh yeah, and the bite marks. We haven't even heard about that. So what we'll do is I'll capture, or whatever you find, we'll capture days of stuff, and we'll take the highlighted areas, go over it. I'll do a timeline, and we'll be able to help these people follow with us so they don't have to sit there all day, because sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's triggering for a lot of people too.
We're just starting to sink our teeth into this one, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, everyone kept coming at me and saying, "Hey, have you seen the treadmill killer case?" And I'm like, I keep hearing about it, and then I saw the video, and then as soon as I saw the video, I was like, oh, he's totally going to be convicted. And then I heard the guy saying that, and I'm like, oh no. So the doctor said he was slightly underweight. That was a comment before. And then 14 bite marks. So a lot of these people are watching the trial here. See you later, Carrie Ann. And I actually have to wrap up too. I kind of just wanted to wrap things up, answer your questions, and let you know that we are going to come back, and we can't do Sebastian and Maddie every single day. Otherwise, now we're just speculating, right? We don't want to be the speculation channels.
Right. No.
I heard the grandma farted. We should go check it out. You know, every freaking thing. Breaking news. All right. So I'll leave on the last. Let me read this and then I'll wrap things up because now I have to. What do you mean you never get notified?
Yeah, that gives us a panic attack. We don't like that.
No, you actually are a member too. You are enough. If you just check the channel. I don't know why you didn't get notified. Okay, I'll go tell YouTube. All right. So the doctor exam. Yeah, like both of now we've got 4 fists here. All right. The doctor examined the boy, told the mother to take her son to the hospital across the street, and the mother could not due to the father's anger, and she had to return her son. So yeah, I heard some of that. He was definitely blocking her, and then he blamed her because she didn't, right?
Well, because I think he thinks that she was trying to take him to the hospital to build a case against him, so he wanted him back right away, right?
Right. No, I agree. I was saying no. I didn't say anything about 14 bite marks, but I'm agreeing with you. It's like he blocked her from doing what she needed, but then he blamed her as a defense. But yeah, no, we're not getting into any like until I see facts, until I put my timeline. I'm just doing an introduction. Everybody, this is our second show today. And it was my day off from work and I'm already tired. So so yeah, we're just introducing, we're doing an introduction. We're getting Poco, we're getting JT and his new channel out there. And let me move this so I can see his handle again. It's Poco Moonshine. I'm sure it's going to build up real quick. He's a lovable guy, big heart, and he's all about kids and boots on the ground efforts. So he's working on the Elijah Vu case, and that's what we started with.
Yeah, we're looking for Elijah. We're still trying to find him. And, he deserves a burial just like the rest of us will get one day. So the search continues. We're still looking for Elijah, and you never know. Maybe one day he'll come home safe. So
Poco rocks. I Am Two Bear is amazing. So if I Am Two Bear says you... Yes, if I Am Two Bear says you rock, then you're doing something right, because I Am Two Bear rocks. Yes.
That's good.
All right.
You. Appreciate you.
B-Dog, y'all. B-Dog says, thanks, y'all. I hope you subscribe to my channel, too. That would be great. And tomorrow, we will do the Elijah Vu. Everybody wants it. We got it. It's going to be a big day tomorrow, everybody. Just know that. There's a lot.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it too, because I feel like Elijah Vu, we got to keep it going. We got to keep his name out there, and we got to find him. We got to bring him home. And thanks, Gigi. Thanks, Krista. Thanks for subscribing, you guys. I appreciate that. And next Monday, this coming Monday, I've got a video, the second video of my second search for Elijah dropping. I had it on my other channel, but I'm moving all my Elijah Vu content to my new channel here. And I've already done a bunch of content with Jay, like maybe at least 3 other live streams about Elijah Vu, that's for sure. So just look forward
definitely
to that. I'll upload it.
Yeah, put it up there. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I haven't even got to see that yet, man. What's up with that? I can't wait to see it. And the best thing about this community is they love live shows. So maybe after we do the Elijah Vu this weekend, maybe sometime next week, we can do a live and talk about your search, because that's what people want. They want to interact and ask you questions about what you're doing and so forth. So if you're into it, then we can still keep Elijah as a name out and get people to search more.
Yeah, and that's why I've got this background. Like I'm literally going into the woods looking for missing people, and right now it's Elijah.
Right.
And the next time I go, you guys are going to want to subscribe, because I'll take you guys live on the search, and I'll also upload a video of other content that wasn't seen on the live stream. So,
there you go.
Do what we can to be a voice for the voiceless. That's why I have that or right here by my little finger, voice for the voiceless. I just, it's the least we could do for these people that had these unfortunate events happen.
Absolutely. And you're out there in the woods, and I'm right here doing my research. So on that note, we're going to see each other tomorrow, and we have a lot tomorrow on Elijah Vu that you have not heard. Trust me. So go subscribe. We love you all. Happy Friday. I'm out of here. I'm going to hit my intro, and thank you, JT. Yes.
Thanks, Jay.
Good night, everybody. Thank you. Love you back, man. Prayers for all of us.
Have fun.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Guilty of crime.